Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I've had a long 2 weeks and they're wearing down on me now. This is a pressure cooker that I have. It's not a canner, it's a little different. This one you cannot control the pressure because it's already set. You only cook in it. Now, a pressure canner, you control the pounds per square inch in your area and everything else for canning. Now, this has a tray that sits in it, and this cooks tough meat like if you want a corned beef to be tender, this will do it in a hurry. Goat meat, I use this. You can also do it if you want to make a stew and have it done in a very short time. A pressure cooker does a lot of things in a hurry if you enjoy doing it that way. I only use them for tough meats that I have to do, and goat meat is one that takes a long time. So if you want to make goat meat in a spaghetti sauce or you want to curry it or something, you need it. Now, pig's feet take a long time, but I tried it one time. After I cleaned the pig's feet, I went to cook them in my pressure cooker. And what I had was a mess. So I don't recommend that one. So I'm going to get some water. I'm going to put about 1 inch of water in this. Because the pig's feet are going to cook in this after I brown them. We'll braise them for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. It depends upon how tender I want them. And the beautiful part about it is you get the bone marrow and the gristle, and you can suck it right off the bone if you do it really, really well. Let's see, how deep is this? Not quite. I have done roasting these things. You would not believe what I have pulled out of a pressure cooker. We would come in from shopping. Yeah, I got a good inch. And we were hungry, so let the children have a yogurt with whatever jam I had made. And I would sit there and put a roast in. I'd braise it, man. I'd throw it in there, pressure cook it until it got done. And then I sat there and chopped chunks of vegetables in. Got it back up and did that, and we ate like that. So it was real easy. So having one of these is very handy. Let me get the other stuff together. Now, I talked to you one time before, but I'm going to remind you. Your gasket, this rubber piece, is called a gasket. You take it out every 3 times you use it. Oil it down with either shortening or one of your oils, or it'll dry out and crack. And you don't want to lose it. And if you do that every 3rd time you use your pressure cooker, you'll notice that it'll last much, much longer. So just bringing that reminder to you again. Now, I just rinsed the meats off. I did not do anything else with them. I'm just using the leftover flour that's always in this bowl. I don't know what flours are in here, so I can't tell you. I haven't decided if I want to make a hot tomato sauce and put the coat over pasta, or do I want to put it over brown rice and make it in a brown gravy, or do I want to sit there and curry it on the stove? I don't know yet. I don't even know if you can make goat stew yet. Hey, I'm thinking, you know me, once I start doing that, heaven knows I'm going to go with my food at that point. but I wanted you to see how I'm doing this. Now I have not turned my pressure cooker on yet. I want to get all the meat done first. And the heat that I have it on, I guess you could say it's medium high. Now the meat is going to twist and turn because of the bones and the gristle and all, but don't worry about it. We'll be cooking that gristle till it's tender. You'll be able to suck the meat off, the gristle right off the bones, as well as suck the bone marrow out. It'll be that tender by doing it this way. And goat has a very unique taste. I'd like to tell you the flavor of it, but it's very unique. And what seasonings I put on it, I have no idea. But I have some mixtures. We might make a new one for all I know. You never know with me. It does stick when you do it, so be careful. Now I'm going to finish browning these, and when we're ready to move to the pressure cooker, I'll be back. Okay, I got them done. Now that they're all braised, I'm going to turn this up on high, the pressure cooker, and get the lid on. Okay, when this starts to jiggle, and there'll be a pressure to come up from here and all, when this starts jiggling, I'm going to time it 30 to 45 minutes, and that goat meat will be tender. So that's where we're at. We're just waiting for it to jiggle. And I'm going to try a new blend of seasonings. Now, I know goat meat doesn't taste like beef, veal, pork, chicken, you know, the regular stuff. The only thing I'm going to be missing out of this is going to be the juniper berries. Now, we used to find them in Texas, and they were always in the seasoning department, so we never had any problems about finding them. But they don't have them up here, so I'll have to order, but I have everything else. So I am going to go ahead and get these seasonings together, and then we'll be putting a new blend of seasonings. If you have a husband who is a hunter, they recommend that this is great for wild game. All right, so give me some time. Okay, we're going to need a tablespoon of parsley. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of dried marjoram. I see this one's starting to go right there, but it's not up here. Now, we need a tablespoon of rosemary. Okay, where's my rosemary? We need a tablespoon of summer savory. This goes so good with white pepper and garlic for veal cutlets. And you must do them up in olive oil and butter. Everybody has their special way, but that is mine and I do love it. So now I have to add another seasoning to all the seasonings I have. All right, now we need a teaspoon of minced dried garlic. So that is, I should know. I'm gonna have to get more of this now. And we're gonna need a teaspoon of thyme. We need a teaspoon of sage. I tell you, seasonings I used to find, I can't even find anymore. It's just crazy because when I was growing up, there were so many other seasonings that we could get. And we need a teaspoon of dried mint, which is just about all that I have there. Now they want lemon balm, which I don't have either. Something I don't find in the store anymore. So they want 1 tablespoon of that. So I'm just going to take lemon peels and grind them up, okay? They also want 2 teaspoons of juniper berries crushed. I can't find those. I'm going to have to order those special for the seasoning. But let me get the lemon peel going for the lemon balm, and I'll order the juniper berries and add them. I might have to come down to ordering my seasonings in bags and keep the jars just to put them up in, you know, a section where I can find them. Because this is ridiculous. I just can't find seasonings anymore. It took 3 years before I actually got raw wheat germ, and it shouldn't have taken that long. So I was really, really disappointed about that. I mean, we had the COVID how many years ago? And they're just now getting to the raw wheat germ. And I'd been asking for it for months. Almost. Okay, let me turn. You see it jiggling? Now I'm going to start clocking it. And adjust your temperature. As it comes to a jiggle, turn it down where it's still jiggling. 30 minutes, that'll be 5 after the hour. Oh, that's about a tablespoon. Okay, if you have juniper berries, just remember that you need 2 teaspoons of them crushed. Now, they said if you wish to make a variation of this, you can add lemongrass, lemon verbena, or lemon basil. They said these are good additions. And they said the juniper berries really add a pleasing flavor to game, so try to include them. Yeah, well, I will as soon as I can order them. So anyway, this is an herb blend for wild game. All right, so let me mark it. Let me take the cap off. This is right out way. So we'll see how this one goes for this. But I'm going to let that cook and I'll be back in 30 minutes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. Now you turn this off and you just let it settle before you open it, because you can have an accident. You can get burned from the steam that's up. So we're going to let this just calm down and let the vent drop. And then we'll open it and see how it is. Okay, this meat is really tender. I'm going to take it out now. Did I cheat a little? Yes, I did. After it had sat for about 5-10 minutes, I lifted this up a little to release the pressure so I could get to the meat sooner. And as you can see, it's falling off the bones. It's really tender. Now I am going to just put it over right. I'm not currying it or spaghettiing it today. I am going to just make a gravy. But I'm going to use beef stock, because it has a stronger flavor and the herbs go well with beef stock, and because this has, you could say, somewhat of a gamey taste that people aren't overly fond of. If you're unaccustomed to having hunters, if you have hunters, then I'm sure you would eat goat meat as well. And so I will be using that with the seasonings, the beef stock, because they said you can use these wild herbs for wild game. You can use them for beef and they go quite well. So I said, okay, we're going to do that. And I will strain the water here, let the fat get hard, and then take that off, and then I'll have drippings that I can use for something else. Though it's goat drippings, it's still going to have a good flavor. I already have the rice on, And I am cooking it in whey, just simple whey. And I promised you yesterday that we'd make whey biscuits, and I am. I just want to get this going first. Okay, let me see, what do I need? I need a pan. Now I have some fat. I usually throw it away, but because of what I'm doing, I am going to be using this to help bring the beef flavor up to go with those seasonings. And I'll add some butter with it. And that'll be it, because I have to definitely separate all of that, and I'm not doing that right now. I'll have to do that spoon again. Now the smell of this herb is like a lemony, peppery smell. I don't know what the juniperberries are going to do until I get them, but I'm going to use that just the way it is. And we're going to get some of this stuff going. Now I have brown rice. I know when you have wild game, it'd go excellent with wild rice, but wild rice takes a couple hours to, an hour to 2 hours to cook. So I said I'll just use brown rice today. I'll get the minerals and everything that I need, and we'll get this going. I'm not as peppy this morning, sorry about that. It's been a long 2 weeks. I'm finally just burnt out. I think if one more thing goes wrong, you're going to hear me scream quite loud. I usually don't get this way, but it's just been really bad. How much do I have here? That's about 2 tablespoons. I know you watch me do that, and you're probably saying, "Does she really?" Yeah, well. And these spoons are just a tablespoon, which are really nice. Now remember, when you make this roux, it has to be equal amounts of whatever fat you've got, be it butter and you're making a cream sauce, or you're making a gravy. It should be 50-50. That is the ratio. These are things that you have to memorize. No matter what you do, these are a few things that you have to memorize in the kitchen, some things. I'm so glad I did not learn the new math of today. I had a beautiful teacher, a very beautiful teacher. I remember when she passed, and everybody at school had gone through her classes, knew their math, and fractions, decimals, and all. She told us point blank, she tried the new math and we couldn't seem to understand it. So what she did was she threw the books out in the hall, which hit the principal's office because he was across the hall. And he came to her. She said, "I'm not teaching it to him." She told us point blank, "You are going to memorize this. You might not understand it now, but you're going to memorize it." So here's a simple one that I learned. 1/2 equals 0.50, which equals 50%. 1/3 equals 0.331 which equals 33 1/3%. And we had to memorize all of those. And you know what? It came in handy. It really did. Now what we're doing is we are cooking this roux, and you want to get like a toasty smell coming up. That's when you know that the flour you have added has actually browned quite nicely. Just like you would a toast that goes in the toaster, bread that goes in the toaster. Now the reason I didn't put the seasonings on the meat and flour the way I did with normal is because I knew this was going to have to be in a pressure cooker, and I know that it will draw it all out. So this is why I'm going to be putting the seasonings in the gravy. Let the meat absorb it. So sometimes you have to use different methods. So you have to learn them. Now, people who can't use flour, you'll have to use because you're allergic, your body can't actually break down flour. It gets into your body whole and causes irritation in your skin and all. Cornstarch. But make sure it's a GNO cornstarch that you can use. Just remember you don't use the same equal amounts because it thickens up with less. It's a better thickener than flour, but it doesn't have any flavor. So if you can find that kind, you should be able to make your own mayonnaise. And I did a video on how to make mayonnaise with cornstarch, where you have a binder with it where it doesn't separate, so you'd be able to have it. So you just have to do things a little different. And I've seen my grandmother and my mother use cornstarch when they didn't have enough flour. So you can use it, but just make sure you get the right one that you can use and not somebody else. Now they say this is strong. Oh, use a pinch of it. I'm not. You know I'm not. I'm laughing, but I'm crying because I'm so tired. I'm so afraid of what's going to happen today. This has such a lovely smell. I guess the blueberries would be a bit strong. I haven't had those, and I've been looking for them, but haven't been able to find them. Don't ask me how this is going to taste. I have no idea. Might want just a little more stock. Okay. We'll see how this comes out. I have no idea, because this is a new set of seasonings, but I've used them all. I've used all these seasonings. I'm very familiar with them. And this combination, I'm not that familiar with them. But this will go over rice. And you have to, oh, sorry, you haven't been able to see it. There, that's what it's looking like right now. I'm just heating it up, and I'm going to cook it a little more. But to show you how tender the meat is, look. It just falls apart. And the bone marrow is cooked, so you can suck it out of the bone. And the gristle is falling off the bones as well, so you get all of that. We just have to wait and bring this to a boil and add some salt. Where did I put my salt? So I'm really hoping this comes out nice. This will be another way of making goat meat, you know? Maybe I should try making a stew sometime with it and see how it comes out, you know? I don't want a lot of gravy with this because I would just drown the goat meat. I just wanted to make enough that would, you know, be for it. Come on, I want you to boil some. I want to cook these seasonings in. I don't want to burn the seasonings, I just want to cook them in where their flavors flow a little more. But if any of you have a husband that hunts, let me know how they go on the wild game. I would love to hear that. Well, we're going to try it now. Seems a little bland. Don't worry, nobody's eating it but my family. I'm not cooking for anybody else. That's better. Let this simmer. And see how those seasonings take with goat meat, because I just didn't want to make spaghetti. I didn't want to curry, and I want to try something different. I don't know how it's going to go after it's set and those flavors come together. If they don't, well, it'll be a flop. It'll be my first. No, it won't be my first. Believe you me, I've done more than my share of flops in the kitchen. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye.